And here we are again, the two best minds in sports and sports entertainment. You get it all right here at the Coach and Bro Show at Sportskeeda.com. I am the coach. He, of course, Russo'sBrand.com. Vince Russo. Hello, sir.
Coach, what is going on? A lot of action over the weekend. College, pro, MLB playoffs. A heavy weekend, man.
It really was. And it's a good thing that we're here. And we drop every Monday and Thursday in the United States around 7 p.m. Eastern time. And I know you've been knee deep in baseball. It's been awesome. It has been awesome.
Yeah.
But Vince, over the weekend, and where we have to start for people that are new to the Coach and Bro Show, we usually do about 20, 25 minutes of the NFL or whatever the big topics are. Then if you go over to Backstage Pass, you can get a bunch of wrestling content there as well. We kind of divide it up, but we do about a full hour of content every single week, twice a week. But Vince, there is a big topic that, to be honest with you, I'm a little bit shocked that after the Vince documentary that we just saw, and they spent a good chunk of that on CTE, on concussions over the weekend, once again, that has become a main topic across sports and entertainment. Saturday, a college kid. It was an ugly scene. Then Sunday, Josh Allen, one of the big star quarterbacks in the NFL for Buffalo, he goes down, face down, completely knocked out.
Yeah.
They let him back in the game. But the big one, Vince, at Bad Blood on Saturday, WWE, all eyes are on Atlanta, Georgia. And CM Punk decides to grab a toolbox and backwards blast Drew McIntyre in top of the head. And WWE showed all of it backstage. Not stitches, Vince. 17 staples in the top of his head. It all comes together. But if I'm seeing that video and they're posting it all over social media, to me, it's an awful look based off of what we've been talking about the last month or two.
Yeah, Coach, listen, can I say it? Because I can get you in trouble by saying it, but Coach, I got to say it. I got to say, because here's what I don't understand, because I know you and I are on the same page about a lot of things, and I know you and I are businessmen, and it's all about, longevity and making money over a long period of time. I've said this, Coach, so much over the last couple of years, bro. The Marks have made it to the ring. It's that simple. The Marks have made it to the ring. Listen, I love Drew McIntyre, and Coach, I got to tell you, I know Drew and his brother are like big time Vince Russo fans. I've interviewed Drew, but Coach, how much money does Drew McIntyre and CM Punk have combined? How much money?
Well, I know they're on big time deals right now. For sure.
Exactly. They have made enough money in their lifetime for their children and their grandchildren and CM Punk's dog and whoever the heck else to be well for many years to come. Why are you doing this, bro? What is the point of doing this? Why would you put yourself in a situation like this, bro? We know about CTE. We know about the lasting effect that the headshots have. We know all this now. It's documented. Why are you doing this, Coach? For the pop of a Mark crowd? Why are you doing this, bro?
It was an interesting 24 hours for me because we normally do a watch along at BTT, and I was at a charity event, so I didn't get to see it live. So of course it happens, and we've been very critical here on Coach and Bro Show about what AEW has done and the high flying stuff and the stuff they do for the small audience on social media. And a lot of people, Coach, you're so adamant, but yet you're quiet here. Yeah, I'm like, I have a life. I didn't watch it, and I said, but I will comment right here and right now. I don't like it. Then other people said, Vince, well, maybe they went into business for themselves. Maybe they decided it, and Triple H and the powers that be didn't know. Vince, how many times in your career did talent go into business for themselves?
But think about that, Coach. How many times didn't talent go into business for themselves when a certain individual was involved? because there would have been a penalty to pay. Bro, how often are we hearing now? Oh, bro, it's a country club back there. Oh, we love AAA. Really? Well, maybe they felt comfortable enough to do it without Triple H's knowledge, because that's the atmosphere back there now. Everybody's relaxed. Nobody's going to say anything. There's going to be no ramifications. Maybe that is the environment backstage now, where if it was Vince, you know what his reaction would have been waiting at Gorilla, because it would have been his butt in the sling.
He would have hated it. He would absolutely would have hated it. And the other part of this, and when I read some of that stuff, and I've gotten to a point now, Vince, that I use social media to push out our content. Yep. I have several different brands. That's it. I rarely read the comments because they're uneducated. Right. Most of them are just uneducated. And I said to myself, if CM Punk is back and they've done everything right by him from a company perspective, why would he go against something Triple H wanted or somebody else? He wouldn't. He's in the best spot he's ever been in his career. So, and then if you're Drew McIntyre and you had this movie that came out and you just signed this big new contract and you can't, and man, I hear your voice all the time teaching us, if you can't tell a better story than having to use that, then you're not thinking hard enough, because they had a lot of times where they went away during that match and they gigged. And then Vince backstage, and this screams TKO to me. They literally had the camera right in his face. They made him turn his head down, show the staples, and then the medical person goes, oh, there's where he gigged right there. And they pointed to him on his forehead. And I was like, are we completely behind the curtain now? Are we giving everything away? Are we using the terms gig on a video you're going to put on your social media page to show how it's done? So when Drew's off camera for 30 seconds, we know that's what he's doing. But Vince, to me, you're not only insulting the fans that get it and are concerned about the talent, but you're shortening the lifespan of Drew McIntyre. And that's fact. There is no disputing that. And I was shocked, and I will stand on this with you. I care about humans way more than I care about a pop. Way more.
Coach, I've said this all the time. I would, and this is a big reason why I stopped watching AEW. Bro, this is a reason why I'm not a UFC fan. Bro, I don't watch wrestling to see people get hurt. I don't want to sit here watching a show that's supposed to be entertainment, and then I'm doing because I'm afraid somebody's going to break their neck or break their back or suffer a concussion that they're not going to be able to come back from. That's why I stopped watching AEW. Bro, that's why I wasn't a fan of ECW. Somebody's going to get hurt here, bro. That's not what this is supposed to be. I hate it. And that's the thing. You know, Coach, listen, I think you and I, bro, if this is a rookie trying to prove themselves to the office, it's almost like I get that. But like you said, bro, you've got two established guys that have been doing this forever. Drew just made a movie. CM Punk has God knows how much in the bank from his wrestling and UFC career. Why are we doing this for a pop from a mark crowd? Is that really why we're doing this?
I never thought that we would accuse Triple H of doing what Tony Khan does. I never thought we would do that. But in this instance, we pride ourselves on this show of being what? Honest.
Right.
Always honest. No matter what the letters are at the top, it doesn't matter to you and I. We're not trying to get back to work for anybody. We're trying to establish a brand that people can come here and get an honest and a real take on a business that they love. We can't go back to that. And you can still have a brutally physical matchup inside of Hell in a Cell without bleeding like a pig in order to do it. And then when he had already gigged, so when he took that shot, it made that open up even more. And those staples, when I saw, I was like, stop. I can't watch the staples.
Yeah.
I can't. But UFC did the same thing Saturday night with Khalil Roundtree. I mean, they followed him all the way back. His eye was completely shut.
I saw that
right
too.
Into the locker room. And it feels like to me that from the top, this is what they want. They want to be as close to a movie and a horror movie as they possibly can get. And that's why they wanted that documentary out of the way. Let's get it out of the way. And then we're going to start fresh and then do it this way and make people talk about stuff like that. And to me, I mean, I read through social media and probably 20% liked it. And about 80% was like, what the hell? After everything that's happened, what the hell?
That's the thing, Coach. Is this what they want people talking about? Coach, I can't tell you how many times I've seen this. And when you think about it, you're going to agree. Bro, there are plenty of times in baseball when a guy will take a fastball in the face. Plenty of time. Bro, they never show it. They never show it.
Not
They
once.
never try to. They immediately try to cover it up. It's always, it's always a distant shot. They never go there. Why do you want to advertise this? I don't understand it.
I don't know either.
And again, Coach, it gets down to, okay, bro. So like, who's your audience then? Are the marks your audience that love the blood and guts, bro? What about the 10-year-old kid looking at this online? That's okay.
I did see somebody say, well, this rivalry warranted the blood.
Then you know what? Maybe somebody should hit that guy in the head with a toolbox and see if he still feels the same way, bro.
You're watching the Coach and Bro Show every single Monday and Thursday. We do a little bit of everything. We do some football. We do big-time topics. And this week, it just so happens that a lot of news was made coming out of Atlanta. Two more things, and then we'll get to the NFL. The one thing I did like is I do like when they feed into the historical part of the business. And they signed a bunch of legends, DDP, Arn Anderson. They were like, because Atlanta has a lot of history. And I'm going to ask you in about 30 minutes about Gunther and Bill Goldberg. But don't you like the fact that at least one thing that was always done by Vince that was never publicized was kind of taking care of the older guys, because they can't walk in and get a job at a bank. You're not going to have the Iron Sheik work at a bank. So these legend contracts are a way to give guys 25, 50 grand a year just to live off of. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And also, one thing Vince always used to do, man, he always used to take care of the old timers who worked for his dad. All those guys. Oh, yeah. The Strongbows and all those, the Arnie Skolins, all those guys that worked for his dad, he always took care of.
I remember at certain buildings, Arnie Skolin would show up. He would sit in the office all day, never move, and just wait for people to come up and talk to him. All the time. Now, another topic, and we'll get into it at some point because we've only been on for about a month. And I want the Coach and Bro Show to be a place where fans can come and not get clickbait on wrestling websites and take what we say out of context, but really talk about important things in sports and in sports entertainment. And Vince, we don't talk about race a lot, but if you, like you always teach us, you've got to write to realistic TV and what's going on in the world today. I feel like Triple H stepped in it Saturday night. He stepped in it Saturday night. He was asked about the lack of diversity as he just let MVP, Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley. He has downgraded EST, Jade Cargill. And so the diversity. And what did he say? The one thing that as a black man, I hate when I hear this. I don't see color. Don't see it. Don't see it. I see talent. So you're telling me that the guys and girls with collar don't have the talent then. And then a video of Cody Rhodes resurfaced when he was in the AEW because he's married to a black woman. And to me, if you're going to put together a company that you want to grow, that's $9-10 billion, everybody that's watching, you've got to have them represented. And Vince, that means diversity. And if your guy that's running it does not see color, that to me is an issue.
Bro, I remember, and I will never forget this, and I never met the dude. I was always a fan of his. Never met him. He doesn't know me from Adam. I interviewed him one time. Kenny King. You know that name?
Not really.
Wrestled at TNA. Great performer. Okay. A black performer, Kenny King. And I'll never, bro, I interviewed him one time. He didn't know me from Adam. And I'll never forget, he said to me, he goes, Vince, you're a head writer, right? I said, yeah. He goes, are you black? I said, no. He goes, then how do you write for black people? You don't know anything about us. You don't live in our shoes. You don't know our heritage. How do you? And I sat there and I said, bro, you're 100% correct. I'm writing off of what I think a black person thinks, or what I think. Right. And bro, the same goes with women. I'm not a female. I wrote for hundreds of females in my life. And think about it, bro. As big as this company is, they don't have a African-American writer. They don't have a woman writer. Think about it. That's
she just left for AEW. The one they had left for AEW. And they may have some writers' assistants, but not anybody that's writing for the show.
Yeah, think about that. Think about that. Because I can't, bro, I'm telling you, I'm a writer. I can't write for a black guy. I can't write for a female. I don't experience what they've experienced. That to me is a no-brainer.
No-brainer. I was talking to somebody. I was driving home from a charity event that I hosted for Brett Saberhagen. You're a baseball guy, World Series champion, 2-time Cy Young, good friend of mine. So I hosted every year. It was Saturday night. So I was driving back on Sunday, and I had a conversation with a black friend of mine who was in the business, and he disagreed with me. We had a very spirited conversation, respectfully, of course. And he said, Coach, the biggest storyline on SmackDown is the bloodline. And I said to him, but how many people think about the Samoan heritage as being black?
I'm
talking about, do you?
No, not at all. Not at all.
No, not at all. And he's like, well, Rock is black and he's Samoan. I said, yes. I said, but we're talking about actual black performers that have now been relegated. I said, NXT has several. I mean, Trick should be a main eventer right now. That's how entertaining that dude is. But he's on the CW. And I don't want to, criticize NXT, but this is something Vince was adamant about because he hated NXT because it wasn't his idea.
Yeah.
So everybody says, well, you got these great black performers at NXT. What happens to them when they come to the main roster?
Right.
Well, they hang out for a little bit and then they go to AEW.
Bro, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair are hosting the show. That's all you have. Bro, these two women are legit superheroes. Seriously, bro. If you put them in superhero outfits and put them out in the street, bro, there may be a drop in crime. They are legit. And, bro, think about that. Think about the 10-year-old girls, the 12-year-old girls that could look up to these two. Think about that. You don't know what to do with these two women? Come on, bro.
I focus on them a lot. I focus on those two in particular a lot because they made such a big deal about signing Jade Cargill coming over from AEW. She was the big get in 2024. And then they get so focused on the 3 or 4 at the top. And then it's to me, it's inexcusable. It's inexcusable. And I'll be honest, when I was there, I've made jokes about it. Maybe I shouldn't have. I was always the token. And whenever there was something in the New York City area, and I think back to an event that we went to that P. Diddy, of all people, was one of the 4 people getting an award. And they're like, hey, Coach, we need you to go to this event. It's $100,000 a table. WWE bought a table. And we were so disrespected, Vince. They didn't even have a table set up for us when we got there. They had to roll it out into the bar area as we're standing there. I kid you not. And they set it up and put the tablecloth on and set the table while we're standing there looking like toolboxes.
Oh, God.
And I was the one black guy at the table. And there was a lot of instances. Now, I never felt like Vince was using me as that. I think he respected my talents, and he realized Coach is a really good host, and we'll put him on a lot of these different things. But as we've gone down this road and all these guys are getting released, I think it's something that Triple H has to address. And when he says that, it's just not a good look. And,
I get it.
I sit down with him.
Yeah, I get such an education, Coach, because I do a show every week with Stevie Ray called Black and White. And, bro, the beautiful thing about it is, bro, there's so many questions white people have that they could never ask black people. And that's the beauty with me and Stevie. Like, I will throw everything at them to educate us so we know and we understand. And that's why, bro, I have learned so much from him. And that show is incredible. Now I like to deem myself an honorary black man since Stevie Ray has taken me under his wing.
Oh, you are. I would love to get Stevie Ray on this show.
Oh, we'll get him on, bro.
You're an honorary brother. There's no doubt about it.
Speaking about this show, bro, he bleeds the black and gold, bro. Bleeds the black and gold, the Steelers.
Well, that's where we are starting. And we didn't plan to do 20 minutes of that, but guess what? When the topic warrants it, that's what you're going to get right here at the Coach and Bro Show. Now, around this world, Vince, the two biggest fan bases are the Cowboys and the Steelers.
Yep.
And Sunday night, there was a 2-hour delay.
Yeah.
So I went and take my man card if you want. Call me a mamby-pamby if you want. But last night, I do a daddy-daughter date night with my daughter, Kayla.
No, that's no mamby-pamby. I love stuff like that, man.
Thank you. Well, we have a thing out here called Segerstrom's, and my daughter's really into theater. And so we bought season tickets, and some of the biggest plays and musicals, they come through on tour.
Nice.
So last night was Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, nice.
And the dude who played Mrs. Doubtfire sounded just like Robin Williams in the movie. It was amazing. Yeah. But I missed the game. I get home, and it was like, you're crying. You're sitting there with your daughter. I mean, she's the air that I breathe, and I have a son too. And I'm like, the Steelers and Cowboys are still on.
Yeah.
And I'm on the West Coast.
Yeah.
The game's supposed to start at 5:15.
Yeah.
The play started at 6:30.
Yeah.
So, but yet it was still full. It came down to the final 30 seconds. And Vince, that was a win that the Cowboys desperately needed.
Yeah.
And if you're a Steelers fan, heartbreak in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, they're coming down to earth a little bit now, though, I think, from the beginning of the year. And I think now, I mean, Coach, does Russell Wilson play next week? I think he does, bro. I think he does. Because I think the last couple of weeks, the Steelers have been so mediocre. I mean, lackluster. I think they need something, and I think it's the perfect time for Russell Wilson, bro. I mean, he has so much to prove, and if he can come back and give that team a little spark, I think now might be the time.
It's easy to get caught up in inflated numbers, too. Justin Fields, the last couple of weeks, he has over 300 yards passing, but it's partly because the game dictated that they needed that. And a lot of times in the NFL, they'll drop off and they'll give you 8, 10, 12 yards and not 30 or 40. Hell, you and I can complete passes like that. So I think there's something there. If he's healthy at 3-2, you don't want to give that start away.
Yeah.
You don't want to give that start away. By the way, speaking of Russell Wilson, Nick Saban, I don't know if you saw him on College Game Day, was on with Marshawn Lynch, he was like the guest picker for the week. And he basically went back to the Super Bowl. Remember when Russell Wilson, they didn't give it to Marshawn Lynch?
Yeah.
He threw an interception to the Patriots. Yeah. Nick Saban's best friend is Bill Belichick. And he said, hey, Marshawn, if it's me, 4th and 1, Super Bowl, I'm giving you the rock. I'm giving you the rock.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, he might be a better TV guy than he was a college coach. He's great on TV. Who would have known?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
All right, so that's Sunday Night Football coming up tonight. And if you guys are watching this live, first showing right here on the front page of Sportskeeda.com. It's in about an hour or so. And there are 2 undefeated teams left. One of them plays tonight, and that is the Kansas City Chiefs. And they're taking on the Saints. And Vince, first 2 weeks, the Saints scored 91 points.
Yeah.
They've now come back down to earth. The Chiefs, historically, in the Patrick Mahomes era, they do not cover. They just win, baby. So analysis, and we'll get to our pick in a moment because I believe that you and I disagree. But how are you looking at this game?
Well, everything you said, bro, and all the work I put into this, man, I'm seeing. Bro, I don't normally say things are a sure bet. But here's what I know I told somebody to bet his house and he's homeless now. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. That guy's mad.
I'm sorry to that guy. Yeah. But listen to this, Coach. You ready?
Yeah.
Last 2 weeks, the Saints were not able to close. They were winning at the wire. Were not able to close the last 2 games. all 4 Chief games, all 4 wins have gone down to the wire. So you know what that tells me, bro? It tells me 5.5 points is a lot of points. So even though I think the Chiefs are going over, I would take the 5.5 points in the Saints.
So, Vince, I got a stat that's going to back you up. And I could be an idiot for going the other way, but I've been called worse. The number is either 4.5 or 5. This year, underdogs at 4.5 or 5. And I apologize because Raphael, my numbers guy, always has it for me. But I know this number is correct. If you're an underdog bigger than that, 19, 4, and 1. Well, it has to be 5 then because there's a push. So it's got to be 5. 19, 4, and 1, 5 points or higher. Underdogs, that's their record.
Wow, that's amazing. That is an amazing. You got to go with the odds then, I think.
It's a dog-eat-dog world.
Yeah.
But in my heart, because what do you come from the fan perspective, and I tease you all the time, but when my teams are playing, I got to do the same damn thing that you do all the time. So I'm going to take the Chiefs. I'm going to lay the 5.5, and I'm going to pray that somehow they score on defense, that Travis Kelce can stop looking up into the skybox, because word is, Vince, it's a big topic here on the show, that Taylor Swift, who starts the last American leg of her Eras tour, I'm hip, baby, I'm hip.
Yeah.
In the next couple of weeks, so she won't be able to go to games. So she'll be there tonight.
Oh, okay. So word on the street is she's there tonight, though.
Correct. She'll be there tonight, and then she goes from middle of October to December to finish her tour.
Yeah.
So what do you think the over-under is on times they show Taylor Swift?
10.
I was going to say 9.
Yeah.
I was going to say 9. I believe there's a sports book out there that you can bet on what is done more, Travis Kelce catches or Taylor Swift appearances.
I would definitely take appearances, no doubt. No
doubt. He hasn't done anything. Last week in a good game.
You know, it's going to be interesting to see, though, bro, when she's on tour and if he's not there, even though she hasn't been there the last couple of games, it's going to be interesting to see if he performs better. Bro, can you imagine? Can you imagine if he's a mamby-pamby, girly, Mary, sissy boy because his girlfriend's there? He can't perform because he's all nervous. Can you imagine this mamby-pamby of a man, bro?
So I'm thinking about the Saturday night. So, on Saturday nights, the players are not allowed to leave their rooms. They're not allowed to have the girls in their rooms. They only fly in the day before, and then they're out. So everybody thinks, they got all these girls on the road. No, they don't. They fly in Saturday. They go to dinner. They do a walkthrough. They go to the room. Can you imagine the phone call between Kelce and her on Saturday night? Oh, sweetheart, I miss you. Good luck tomorrow at your sold-out stadium in Tampa.
Yeah.
And you just made another $100 million.
You think she sings to him over the phone? She gets the guitar out in the room and starts singing to him, you think?
Well, I mean, if it's anything like her concert, she would have to have auto-tune in the hotel room.
Yeah.
You got to have auto-tune. And it just came out this week, Vince. She is the richest, according to Forbes, the richest female musician in the world. She just overtook Rihanna, and she's much higher than Beyonce. So I'll give him credit. It's always about, the woman usually says, I'm trying to catch a man. Well, the man caught the woman this time. But I don't even know how that dynamic would work. When you make $18 million and you add another, let's say he makes $30 million. Can you imagine making $30 million a year, Vince, and feeling financially inadequate? Next to
we got to we Coach, we may have to do a special show, because there is no doubt in my mind, and I have the facts and I can walk you through it. Taylor Swift created in a lab. This is all a social experiment. I can lay it all out to you, Coach, when we have the time.
All right. Well, it might be worth a special, and we happen to know the two guys that run the show, so we'll call them.
Yeah.
And
we'll see for the record, Taylor Swift cannot shine Riri's boots. Bro, me and Riri, bro. Riri.
She's
You
amazing.
talk about attitude. She's got an attitude, bro.
And she's next level. My son asked me the other day because Eminem came out on one of the big MTV Music Awards. He's like, Dad, how's Eminem made so much money over the years, but yet he never goes on tour? He never does. I said, son, I said, they have changed the game. He said, what he was at. And I believe it was Justin Bieber, but they make about $5 million for 45 minutes.
Yep, absolutely.
45 minutes. Rihanna did one, and apparently they weren't happy because she only did like 3 songs.
Yeah.
But for $5 million, you don't ever need to tour. You can sit your butt at home.
And she's created an empire with her, her beauty line, and my God, she's created an empire, man.
Vince, last year I was at the Super Bowl and I was working, and I walked into, they have the big, where they sell all the stuff, right? And she had her own section at the Super Bowl with her stuff next to it. Was the Chiefs and whatever the one
with
in
her
Arizona.
merch.
Yeah, merch.
Oh, wow.
And it was big time money.
And bro, you want to know something about her that blows me away, bro? As big as she is with all the money she has, bro, you will not find Rihanna merchandise anywhere. I'm talking about T-shirts with her likeness. She does not sell that, bro, anywhere.
She knows it's about what my buddy Russo always says, the brand.
Yes.
It's about the brand. And Rihanna is not the brand.
Yes.
Her companies are the brand.
That's it.
Just like
That's
the Coach and Bro show.
That's it.
All right. So Vince is on the Saints plus 5.5. I am on the Chiefs minus 5.5. And I need a really good performance from Travis Kelce. Don't look up at the skybox.